Under the sweltering sun of a Japanese summer, there lies a secret behind every crisp, sweet bite of a watermelon, a story of tradition, precision, and tireless dedication. These refreshing fruits, cherished for their juicy pulp and iconic taste, aren't just grown, they're crafted. Japan is renowned for taking agriculture to an art form, and nowhere is that more evident than in the way they grow watermelons. From the meticulous selection of seeds to the final gentle harvest, every watermelon carries within it the legacy of 1,000 careful hands and countless hours of care. And this story, it doesn't begin in the fields, but in the quiet sanctuaries of greenhouses where nature and human ingenuity first meet. The journey begins with something deceptively simple, a seed. But not just any seed. These are carefully selected from high-yielding, disease-resistant varieties, often the product of years of crossbreeding and testing. Japanese farmers believe that the quality of the fruit is only as good as the seed from which it grows. Before they ever touch soil, these seeds are soaked in warm water, typically at a steady 30 to 35 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. This step is critical. It softens the seed coat, allowing moisture to penetrate and awaken the embryo inside. It's as if nature is being gently nudged from its slumber. Once soaked, the seeds are nestled into seedling trays filled with new, well-drained soil. These trays are then moved into state-of-the-art greenhouses where every element is under control: temperature, humidity, light, and airflow. The ideal environment is carefully maintained, temperatures between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius and humidity levels hovering between 70 to 80%. These conditions create the perfect cradle for germination. In about a week, tiny shoots pierce the soil, bright green and full of life, signaling the beginning of a new watermelon plant's journey. But before these seedlings ever touch the open earth, they undergo a fascinating process that sets Japanese watermelon farming apart: grafting. This method, both ancient and cutting-edge, involves combining two plants to form one. Farmers select hardy rootstocks, often squash plants, known for their strong root systems and resistance to soil-borne diseases. The young watermelon seedling and the rootstock are each cut at a precise angle, then joined together and secured with special grafting clips or medical-grade tape. It's delicate work, like botanical surgery, and must be done swiftly to avoid drying out the freshly cut surfaces. Once grafted, the plants are placed in a carefully controlled environment, sheltered from direct sunlight but kept warm and humid to encourage the union to heal. Over the next 7 to 10 days, the two plants become one, the robust root system of the squash supporting the flavorful genetics of the watermelon. Once the graft is fully healed, the upper part of the rootstock is removed, leaving only the watermelon plant to grow. This marriage of strength and sweetness ensures better resistance to pests and diseases, leading to healthier plants and higher yields. After about 2 to 3 weeks of tender care, when the seedlings have grown strong roots and sturdy stems, it's time for them to meet the soil. But the fields must be just as ready as the plants. Soil preparation in Japan is meticulous. Farmers plow the land, enrich it with compost and carefully selected fertilizers, and test for pH levels, adjusting until they fall within the optimal range of 6.0 to 6.8. Plastic mulch is then spread over the surface, a multifunctional tool that regulates soil temperature, locks in moisture, and suppresses weeds. Underneath this protective layer, the seedlings are transplanted in evenly spaced rows, giving each plant room to breathe, grow, and thrive. Once in the field, the real challenge begins. Japanese farmers act as guardians to these plants, providing water, nutrients, and support with unwavering attention. Water management is paramount to little, and the plants wilt. Too much, and the roots rot. Drip irrigation systems deliver water directly to the roots, minimizing waste and reducing the risk of leaf diseases. Every drop is measured. Every plant is monitored. Pruning is another essential practice. As the watermelon vines begin to sprawl, farmers carefully trim away excess shoots, focusing the plant's energy on producing high-quality fruit rather than sprawling foliage. In some cases, trellises are used to support the vines and guide their direction, preventing overcrowding and ensuring each fruit receives adequate sunlight and airflow. Pollination is yet another moment where tradition meets innovation. Watermelons require pollination to bear fruit, and while wind and insects help, Japanese farmers often go a step further. Honeybee hives are introduced into the fields to ensure a healthy pollination process. In some areas, pollination is done manually, with tiny handmade brooms or brushes used to transfer pollen from male to female flowers. It's a delicate, time-consuming task, but it ensures consistency and quality in the developing fruit. As the watermelon begins to take shape, farmers keep a close watch on its progress. Every factor, temperature, soil, nutrition, sunlight, and hydration, is monitored with precision. The fruit's development period, typically lasting 50 to 60 days after transplanting, is when the farmer's vigilance is at its peak. One unique and visually stunning aspect of Japanese watermelon farming is the practice of growing fruit in molds. These transparent, hard plastic forms shape the fruit into desired novelty shapes, squares, hearts, and even pyramids. The process is complex and requires perfect timing. The watermelon must be placed in the mold while still small and pliable, and monitored closely to prevent damage or deformities. These shaped watermelons are not just a gimmick, they're a symbol of Japanese craftsmanship and agricultural excellence. They are considered luxury items and command premium prices in department stores and gift markets. The effort required to produce them is immense, but the results are dazzling, perfectly formed, geometric marvels that reflect the harmony of nature and human intent. When the long-awaited day of harvest arrives, typically 70 to 90 days after planting, the farmer must rely on experience and intuition. Ripe watermelons exhibit a deep, rich color and well-defined stripes. The curly tendrils near the stem dry and turn brown, signaling maturity. A gentle tap on the rind reveals the watermelon's readiness, a hollow, resonant sound that tells the farmer it's time. In some high-end farms, a refractometer is used to measure the fruit's sugar content, ensuring only the sweetest specimens are selected. Harvesting is done with care, using sharp shears to cut the stem, avoiding any bruising. To the delicate fruit, each watermelon is gently handled, graded by weight, shape, and visual perfection. The finest of them are wrapped in protective foam netting and placed in custom-designed crates, as if packaging a fragile treasure. From there, the watermelons are transported to processing and packaging centers, where another level of inspection awaits. Upon arrival, they are washed to remove any soil or debris. Then, they undergo sorting by size, weight, and ripeness. Some facilities employ advanced scanning technologies, including ultrasonic imaging, to assess the sweetness and internal structure of the fruit without cutting into it. This ensures that only the best make it to market. Those that pass the final checks are packaged with care. Depending on their destination, the fruit may be wrapped in mesh, cushioned in styrofoam boxes, or placed in specially designed cartons. Every package receives a traceability label, ensuring that the fruit's entire journey, from seed selection to final shipment, can be tracked. This traceability is more than a logistical tool. It's a promise to the consumer about safety, quality, and integrity. And then, these beautifully cultivated watermelons are ready to make their final journey, whether to a high-end grocery store in Tokyo, a gift market in Osaka, or even an international supermarket shelf abroad. Each fruit carries with it not just flavor and freshness, but a story of farmers who rise before dawn, scientists who perfect seeds, and a culture that honors craftsmanship in everything it touches. So the next time you bite into a juicy, sweet watermelon on a hot day, remember that flavor is not just the taste of summer. It's the taste of patience, of tradition, of an entire nation's commitment to excellence in the tiniest detail. From a warm greenhouse to your table, the journey of a Japanese watermelon is nothing short of remarkable. And if you ever see a square or heart-shaped watermelon nestled in a display case like a jewel, know that it didn't get that way by accident. It's a work of living art, grown with love, precision, and deep-rooted respect for nature's rhythm. That's not just fruit, that's Japan, sweet, stunning, and unforgettable.